Always the potential for these pickoffs, and Fnatic, as you said, maybe looking more for that kind of team fight potential, and Na'Vi going to look for those kind of cross the map. But nonetheless, let's see what we've got going down here with the first game in the first series here on the third stream of the International. Na'Vi versus Fnatic, game one. Battle. As we get ourselves in terms of lanes, I imagine it's pretty much going to be their standard. We're going to have the Darkseer off lane. You're going to have your Tusk off lane. Safe lane and tri lane is probably going to come out from both sides. We may see the Bane, Kessigimba, look for a bit of early kind of rotations. You know, we'll see where he likes to kind of put his presence towards the laning stage.
He might kind of sit around mid for a while too.
Yeah.
You can just be a nuisance, you know, get like either Enfeeble or you get Nightmare. You could just make the other mid not able to trade with you. And Bane has great early stats, right? Like 58 base damage with no stat items at all and 4 armor. Like he is an absolute beast when it comes to at least level 1. So right now, Fnatic just going for the jungle invade here. Probably just looking to get some vision up. Very common warding spots coming out here from both teams. And the lanes are super important for Na'Vi as well. They need their Bloodseeker to get off to a very good start. And then the rotations coming in from Funnick, they have to also be on point. They need to control the game from a very early point. Like, you don't pick Bloodseeker and Tusk and Wisp with Queen to sit around and do nothing, right? Like, Na'Vi want to go super ham this game.
Yeah, and if anything, the Eye is just going to help that. You know, as soon as we see that level 6 come online, we're going to be looking for pickoffs all across the map. And it is actually going to be a Hyo here on the Darkseer heading towards this top lane. So we might actually see Fnatic go a little bit aggressive here. Yeah, Jara's going to be heading down to that bottom lane, KYXY. Johnny and Kessick hanging around towards the mid lane at the moment, but I imagine they will need to go and help out the Jaro. It's going to be the Jaro versus this Bloodseeker lane. Na'Vi themselves, they've got Funnick and Artstyle on the off lane. Dendi towards the mid, of course, Seneko hanging around there. Might need to help him out indeed. Yeah, Johnny's going to stick around with Mushi, so we might see a bit of a 2-on-2 in the mid lane. But yeah, so the Darkseer being sent up to the top. Is this Fnatic kind of avoiding what Na'Vi are trying to do? Who's coming out on top here?
I really think that this is the best possible situation for Fnatic. They see the fact that, okay, if Bloodseeker is up against an offlaner, and it's Darkseer, and there's one other hero there just constantly harassing. We talked about how important it was for the Bloodseeker to have lanes that are going to win. And by winning, you just want to have consistent harass, right? You want to keep the heroes low, so Havos can benefit from that thirst and be able to bully his offlaner. If Fnatic lane in this way, and they have 2 heroes in mid and bottom, they're guaranteeing 2 out of 3 lanes will win. That means the thirst benefit from Havos is going to be lower. You're also shutting down his farm in conjunction. And, I mean, Dazzle Tusk is not really going to be able to kill a Darkseer unless Ohio gets drastically out of position, which I really don't see happening in this matchup. So, for Fnatic, I think these lanes are pretty good.
Yeah, it certainly feels pretty smart from the side. As you said, Havos is having a lot of trouble here. Yes, just coming in with the slaps, forcing back the Bloodseeker. And space is being created very easily for KRXY to pretty much have free farm in this lane. There's not going to be anything the Bloodseeker can do to disrupt this Jaro's farm down here. He's going to need a bit of backup if they want to try and slow down Fnatic in that respect. Artstyle actually hanging around the mid lane now with Seneko, leaving Funnick on his own against a Hyo. Of course, being a melee hero, it's not going to be too much fun up against this Darkseer. We've seen a few games where the offlane has been able to get a fair bit of farm. Probably going to be a little bit less so when you're trying to do it up against this Ohio Darkseer.
It's going to be annoying CSing out of the tower, but we talk about Tusk a lot, and he needs, more than anything, he needs levels. Like, you want to just hit 6. We're going to see a haste turn picked up here by Mushi, but I don't think he's going to try to go for any early kill. You can finally see Na'Vi realize they need to rotate. Like, Artstyle's made his way towards bottom. He's like, I can't let my Bloodseeker sit down here and get nothing when the Gyro's going to win. And it even gets to a point where I think that Havos would be so under-leveled and under-farmed that KYXY would be able to just solo zone him. And that means that Kessick can just start going somewhere else if he wants to try to like go for a gank on mid, for example, if they manage to find out that Wisp. I think Na'Vi might have spread themselves a little bit too thin with the supports that they picked, because they don't give you any options. They're both very defensive and no disables.
Oh, here we go as well. They know he's level 1. They know he's got the heal. No Shallow Grave available. Going in with the Rocket Barrage. There's your first blood. Johnny there to help out as well. And Fnatic just finding the opening perfectly there on the bottom lane. And I mean, that is your Dazzle that was sent down here to help out the boss.
Well, they knew that they couldn't like let things stand. Maybe the better option would have been just to have Havos do what he's doing now. I mean, he's rotated to the jungle. This is probably one of the only things he could do in this situation. Buy like a Quelling Blade, start jungling, but he's not even really able to do that effectively. I think for the time being, Fnatic are going to be more than pleased with the way the lanes are rolling out. And you can see Johnny and Nico both just like all right, he's in the jungle. We know where he is. We got vision. I think they might have seen him actually walk up there in the first place, if he went through the lane at least. And art style, at least he's level 2 now. So he has Shallow Grave, just in case something goes horribly awry.
And they've got some more backup coming in as well. So Neko is hanging around in the sidelines, does have that bottle, of course. And the mid lane for Dendi, 15 for 7, 14 for 1. Slightly ahead there in terms of the denies. But again, Johnny just doing what he can, disrupting the jungling here of Force with the backup of Artstar. There's more and more space created for this Gyrocopter. They are indeed going in. Mushi looking for the TP out. Nothing they can do to stop that. And still just 1-0 on the board. And if I was Navi, I'd be very worried about this Gyrocopter.
I'd be worried about everything, actually. I mean, Darkseer and Gyro are both the top of the board by a lot. And you can see Ohio is pressuring so hard here on Funnick, even with that bottle. He's got to sell. He's going to use his snowball to avoid taking a little bit more damage here. Is he actually going to die?
Okay.
Oh, jeez, that was...
Oh, the salve actually gets cancelled as well.
He burns his salve, and now he's pretty much got to go back to base. Unless... Okay, never mind. Seneko has a regen, so I guess he can heal him up.
Out onto Ohio. Ohio is actually out of mana, no mana for Surge, but I don't think Ohio cares. He's just going to run head at them. He at level 6, pretty damn tanky. Not a fear in the world here for Ohio. And Vor's just desperately trying to find CS under the tower, but we are 5 minutes in, and he's only got himself 6 CS. This is a very poor looking Bloodseeker.
Well, at the very least, he's getting some experience under the tower. When damage is dealt to enemy heroes too, it's kind of... It's deceptive how Bloodseeker works, because obviously you want to farm on the hero. But if you find an opportunity where Fnatic have a couple of heroes that are low on HP, then you can actually start to run in and go for your damage, and then maybe you can kill. But the biggest concern is not even really the Bloodseeker not farming, it's the supports on Na'Vi. They're too weak right now to do anything. Like, Seneko doesn't have an impact hero early like Shaker or Winter Wyvern that can actually go around and help you win the lanes. That's their biggest issue, is they picked a draft that needed to win early, and their supports can't help them do that. They just don't have lanes that are strong enough.
Absolutely, it certainly feels like that from the side. But it's still early days, 6 minutes in. You know, in the mid lane, Dendi still having a pretty good time, 25 for 15. Certainly starting to break away here from Mushi's Lina in terms of farm with the backup of Seneko as well. So I feel like a lot of this is going to be down to Dendi's rotations and what he can do for his team across the map.
There's so much pressure on him this game. If he doesn't have like perfect TP ganks and they start pressuring, like maybe you gank bottom, try to take out KYXY, or even killing a support at this point is going to be okay. Even if they have 2 heroes that are farming relatively well, the rest of their team is getting pretty much nothing. And even though Dendi is actually kind of, he's not owning it, but he's doing very well. Like, he's 30 and 19. 19 denies on Mushi, who only has 1 and 20 CS right now. A lot of that was because Seneko was sitting nearby, right? Like, he was helping harass, and that's the trade that Na'Vi were making by having Havos just get absolutely nothing out of his lane. I mean, look, he's mid. Like, he has absolutely nowhere to go.
Yeah, he's certainly struggling to find some of the far bottom lane. The pressure coming in. TPs are coming out from Na'Vi, so they want to try and go in with the defense. Moving forward, Kessie taking a fair bit of damage. Goes out with a nightmare out of the brain sap, keeping himself alive, but Dendi here with the rotation will enable them to find the kill onto Bane. So, well, we're talking about the reactions from Dendi this time. Coming out to bring them on the board. They're going in straight away. Snake and Dendi are back. Dendi still got the ultimate available here. This could be big. Johnny, they're grouping up, and there we go. Sonic Wave, Dendi with the double kill. And this is exactly how Dendi needs to be playing to get Na'Vi ahead of this game.
Thank God for Na'Vi that Dendi actually made that happen. I'm really surprised that Fnatic decided to keep going on that. They saw 3 heroes
mid lane
lane
as well.
too. They're going to get Mushi.
That's big. I mean, Tusk, he was level 7, had the Walrus Punch, catching out the Lina. And Na'Vi, you know, they had a bit of a slow start. The lanes didn't look too great, but now the action's kicked off, and Na'Vi are in their element.
Now, we knew that they wanted to go ham, right? Like, they picked these heroes like Tusk, Bloodseeker, Queen of Pain. They're not going to let the game stay stale. They're just going to create as much chaos as they can. They realize this is pretty much not just good for the way that their team plays in general, because I think that Na'Vi thrive under those chaotic situations, but it's also what they picked. And this is even before Seneko is level 6. He's going to be around level 5 soon. And then we're going to start seeing like relocate ganks on top of the action that we've already been seeing, and that's pretty much where Na'Vi want to be. They want to make Fnatic like just to be anywhere on the map at all times.
Dendi. The Hyo's still finding a lot of space here on this top lane, pressuring the tier 1. Bottom lane, the rest of the side of Fnatic, KYXY able to destroy a tower. And now with the phase boots Aquila and the Ogre Club, this is going to be a very, very speedy BKB if KYXY's farm continues at this rate. 61 CS at 8.5 minutes in. Nearly almost perfect CS here on the Gyrocopter.
Well, we kind of expect that, right? He had a super easy lane. He was sitting there, and Harvolst was longingly looking at creeps and saying, I really wish I could hit those. The biggest things for me so far are the two core positions on Na'Vi, like Funnick and Dendi. Both of them so far have pretty much brought to the table what they absolutely need to, which is good rotations, forcing a reaction out of Fnatic, killing the cores, like both of them, Lina and Gyrocopter together. That is the ideal situation when you're having a bad laning phase to make a transition where you know that you're going to be able to get those kills going for yourself. And the one thing about Navi's lineup is they can't let up. They have to continue to look for those openings.
And Dendi's certainly going to do that. 10 seconds before he's got the Sonic Wave available again. Top lane. Funnick having to be careful as a Hyo. Johnny and Mushi putting on the pressure. KYXY is going to actually join the cause here as well, looking for some more tower gold. And it's actually going to be Kessie being hunted down there by Harvolst. Dendi's there as well, Bane in a lot of trouble. Looking for a neutral deny, isn't going to happen. And this is another kill for Dendi. This could be the beginnings of quite a queen game here for the mid lane, and he's going to look for Mushi. He's going to find it. Double kill for Dendi. This is his 5th kill. They also get the courier, and he's still got the Sonic Wave. Dendi looking for that round. 3 heroes. Can he find the angle? Takes the Sonic Wave out. Only catches 1 here onto Johnny, but now the snowball forward. They're going to burst out. Johnny said, ultra kill for Dendi. 10 minutes in. He's absolutely outdoing himself here, Dendi. We were saying at the beginning, it's all about Dendi. Dendi's got to pull it out the bag. 10 minutes in, he's doing nothing less than that. 7 kills on the board, dominated the mid lane. This is Dendi. He was not happy with how the games went yesterday, and he's bringing his A game today, Andrew.
I really think that these types of games, where they rely on somebody like Dendi in that core position to bring their A game, like you mentioned. This is, I think, the way that their team has to play. When you have Dendi, you have to put him on impact heroes. You need to let him control the pace of the game for you. And it's being showcased right now that even in a horrible laning situation where one of your cores is just getting completely snubbed, that it doesn't matter as long as Dendi has the room that he needs to pretty much just roll the game. And that's exactly what we've been seeing. So they get to tier 1 in the safe lane. Now Fnatic, they've lost a lot in the last probably 2 to 3 minutes. And we knew that Na'Vi were going to play this aggressive style. It seems like Fnatic are just getting caught off guard by how mobile they actually are.
I mean, looking at the graph, as you said, those last 2 minutes is shown pretty much perfectly. Coming up to a 5,000 lead suddenly out the blue there for Na'Vi. And noticeable what was on the career. It was
I'll relocate bottom lane.
There we go, indeed. Hitting level 6 on Seneca. They want to use it straight away. And Dendi, with the help of the IO, finds himself that pick off onto Mushi. And, I mean, this is classic Na'Vi. Seneko is going to go down. Feet grip thrown out there by Kessie. Not wanting to let the IO get away. Funnick with the ice shards. Isn't going to be able to catch anyone else. So they do lose the IO. But well worth it there, picking up the kill onto Mushi.
Yeah, without doubt, trading mid for support. You're always going to be happy with that. They do get the offlane power in the meantime, so I think all in all, Fnatic probably end up even in that trade. Just being able to get that tower off the map is always going to be nice. This is going to be non-stop aggression, though. Again, I really feel like Na'Vi can't let up, because as soon as Fnatic get to their Wombo combo stage, and this is also prior to Johnny, he's level 4, right? He doesn't have his ulti yet. One good vacuum, one good call down, one good Winter's Curse. That's going to be how Fnatic are going to turn these engagements.
Dendi, though, he's got his Yules finished at 12 minutes and on top of the treads.
Yeah, he is stacked.
This is incredible. He's going to look for more. He's got the ultimate straight onto Mushi. With the back for Seneko. Mushi's going to die. Kessie is not going to want to reveal himself here. It's a monster kill streak here for your Queen of Pain. 12 minutes in, and Dendi just continuing to impress.
I'm really, really happy with the way that Na'Vi, like, they didn't panic too much with their laning phase. Sure, art style, he made 1 rotation. He goes bottom, dies here. We're going to see a snowball here.
Wants to try and go for Johnny here, but unlucky there with the ice charge. The cold embrace is there in time as well for Johnny. And he's going to be A-OK here.
It's very refreshing to see Na'Vi able to recover from a laning phase like that. Because it looked really bad at first, right?
Yeah, it couldn't have been any worse, I don't think. Apart from the mid lane. Dendi was doing it right in the mid.
Mid was okay.
That's what counted.
The other 2 lanes were kind of struggling.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
As it often happens here when you're watching Na'Vi, it is very quickly becoming the Dendi show.
It really is the moment, and we can see now Fnatic.
They got mech already.
Oh, on higher.
Yeah,
Yes,
this
they
is
do.
going to
This
be
is
a
farm
very
dark
strong, very strong gank.
Yeah. I see what Fnatic can do if they're heading towards the mid lane. At the moment, you've got both Havorst and Funnick here. Actually
Radiant's
drawing the
bottom
long route
tower
round.
is
Oh, they
under
both
attack.
showed. I think they want to try to go on this.
Wrapping around, they've got the whole caboodle. They still don't have the Winter's Curse, but they're probably not going to need it. They've got the Fiend's Grip and Funnick. Yeah, he's going to get Fiend's Grip straight up. Cooldown as well. Nowhere for the Tusk to hide in the snowballs. That's going to be a pick off there for Fnatic. They're not going to be able to find a second one, but nonetheless, getting themselves a kill, which they certainly need to. 10-4 at the moment, still a little bit behind Na'Vi, but Fnatic might look for a push off the back of this one.
Radiant's
Ready to
middle
apply
tower
pressure in
is
the mid
under
lane.
attack.
And the other thing too
Radiant
is you can never
structures are
forget that
fortified.
Fnatic's 5-man is ridiculous. Like, when KYXY has call down up, Johnny hits that level 6, he's very close, he's only 40 experience away. You have to respect their combo until your BKBs are out. If you don't, Fnatic are 5-manning. You can tell right now that Na'Vi, they're still very hesitant to try to fight into this because they realize it. And Mushi,
round the back, Dendi going straight for Seneko. Is he going to be able to find the kill? And now he's been ruptured up, of course. Trying to turn this one around. Now he runs away because Mushi's been caught in race. They're not going to be able to find that kill. Where is Dendi? Dendi, here he is coming in. He's got the Sonic Wave available in a couple of seconds. Moving forward, he'll be able to take down Johnny already. Now Mule holding the gyro in place. He's a little bit low on mana, but he's got the dagger. Now the force chasing down the the damage is too much. Dendi now beyond godlike there with the double kill, and the rest of Fnatic just left to run away. It's Funny going to chase this one down with the snowball. Is going to find Kessick. The wall has been dropped by Ohio, and Funnick actually taking a fair bit of damage here from the illusion. Bring him back as well, but Seneko is there. He's going to be able to relocate him out 8 seconds if needed, but I don't think it is. Ohio's going to be the one to TP away. Force chasing down Kessick will clean up the Bane. 14-5. Na'Vi yet again taking a very nice fight against Fnatic, and Dendi 10 kills, 2 assists. They just can't kill him. 1,600 gold in the bank.
I watched that fight and I'm thinking to myself, okay, Mushi goes in. He ults and gets everyone a little bit lower, but at that point they didn't have cooldown. Like, Johnny still wasn't level 6, needed like one more creep wave. And I think that fight would have went a lot better for them, because when you go in as Lina, you drop every single one of your abilities, and not a single hero is dead, you pretty much have to run. And even though they're able to keep him alive with the cold embrace, the teleport reaction coming in from Funnick realizing, hey, I know their ultimates aren't actually off cooldown yet because they got Fiend's Grip a little bit earlier, and the cooldown had been used to kill me anyway. I can just go in and kill Mushi straight up. And then once you're down in core, the rest of the Fnatic team, like, they need their heroes to pretty much combo together. If they're fighting isolated, it's going to be a significantly weaker draft. This is a 5-man team, and they need to remember that.
And they're certainly sticking around in the groups at the moment. They've left Ohio on this top lane to continue to farm, which he has been doing very well so far. He is actually, in fact, equal in terms of farm to KYXY on the net worth. Still at the top of the board, though, of course, Dendi, 7,200 at the moment in total. Funnick's managed to find himself an invis room here, but it has, of course, been spotted out here. So Funnick needs to be careful. Sentry could block down, and Funnick might just walk into this. Oh, the blink reaction just in time, getting himself out. Now with the Winter's Curse, they want to kill him. He's got the snowball available, and backups there as well. Maybe this is the fight for Fnatic. Want to take the lead now, catching a few of them, but they're just on the way. 1, 2, 3, on to 4 now, catching Lucy in the clip of it. They're going to be able to find 2 heroes so far. Force is able to run himself away, and now Dendi's going to look for more. Looking for the push, they're able to take down Johnny here on the Wyvern, and now looking for more Mushi. He won't be able to cancel it as the Yules is on cooldown. They do end up losing her Vorst, but again, a 1-for-3 trade there for Na'Vi. And Fnatic just seem to struggle to do anything against the aggression of this lineup.
They're just not able to get their combo going. Like, the way that Na'Vi are taking the fights is so disruptive, and they're not ever having like a whole 5 versus 5 flash. So even in that last engagement, the way that Johnny had to use his ult was suboptimal, right? Like, he wasn't able to get the combo that he really wanted going, and Mushi has had such a hard game that at this point, he's still only level 9. I mean, Dendi is level 11, almost 12. Keep in mind, level 11 is a massive level in terms of experience. It requires like 3 times as much experience to go from 11 to 12 than it does to go from, like, what, 8 to 9 or 9 to 10 even?
Yeah,
so
there's
with that being said, it's just an ode to how much Dendi and the rest of Na'Vi are just... If they were playing like this from the get-go, I don't think they would be the bottom of the group.
No, it certainly feels like just a totally different performance here for the team today, at least compared to what we saw them in all 4 games, didn't we, yesterday?
Yep.
And it was a very, very different Na'Vi. But this time, it seems to be, they seem to be in their comfort zone here. It's the heroes that they're working very well with, and the Dendi Quap, of course. pretty much, well, it is a flawless performance so far. 11 kills.
A relocate, not win.
Indeed, they've spotted him out on his own, but what he's got to do, KYXY, not the place he wants to be, and he's got to be very careful about coming out and revealing himself in these lanes. Maybe just forgetting about the IO here. And yet another kill here for the Quap. Might be looking for more. He's going to have the ult here in 20 seconds. And well, Bunny's going straight on to Johnny. Johnny's going to go down. Oh, Dendi clears that one up. He wants more for his scoreboard. And the scoreboard for this Queen looking pretty impeccable at the moment. And we were talking about Mushi falling behind. Just the difference between these two mids. Dendi with 13-0-4. Mushi with 0-5 and 2.
I'm not really sure. Fnatic, they have great high ground defense. That's one thing we can also talk about is if Fnatic keep getting bullied outside of the map, the one thing that they can always rely on is the fact that, okay, we got our huge Wombo combo, and no one on the side of Na'Vi actually have a BKB yet. Like Havos, he went Midas, then he goes back for the SNY. He wants to just get items that increase his farm rate, still allow him to participate in these team fights. But again, like even Fnatic being in this position, they still have an opportunity to take a good fight if they can get everything going together. And this is a 5-man smoke. They're all in the same area. Let's see what they can do.
Let's see what they can do indeed. But the Sonic Wave is available here for Dendi. He's going to look very careful at angle. He might just find it moving in, and now already Fnatic is starting out. That's the combo that you need from Fnatic. They bring down the board. They really find that Dendi's going to be able to find himself sometime with the Yules. Will be able to pick himself out. So they get everything in. There's the Sonic Wave catching a few of the KYXY is going to be taken down. So 1-for-1 so far. Arstyle getting low. Would just be able to get himself out of the fight. Ice flying through. Dendi blinking himself away. Seneko now the retreat. Funny going back in with a Walrus punch there. On to Kesikimba. Brings down the Bane. Dendi being healed up by Seneko. Ready to go back in. Maybe thinking about this one. Johnny and Mushi still around. Ohio in the lane. But now, yeah, Dendi blinking forward onto Johnny there with the dagger. Now Ice Shards as well. But here's Ohio bringing back the back in. Not enough damage now. Dendi holding a higher place. Now looking for Johnny. Johnny's current braced himself. Will he be able to save him? He's actually turning around onto Dendi. Dendi getting low for the weave now. From Dazzle, giving him that armor, but he's going to be AOK. Funny finds Johnny, and now Artstyle just on the retreat. Dendi has keeping himself out. It's just Artstyle and Seneko left around here with Funny. Could be in trouble. Light Strike array. Looks like they find him. No. Shallow Grave just in time. He hasn't got a TP available here, so is he going to be able to get out of this one? And well, there.
No way. No way.
No.
Oh my.
Oh, KYXY with the cleanup. Nearly getting away out of that one, Funnick. But nonetheless, what a fight. Fnatic, they do find something. We saw the Wombo combo come out. But you got to hand it to Na'Vi. They were able to fight back through it. And the fact that they could keep Dendi alive and allow him to still do that in response. And he still hasn't died. 15 kills, 5 assists on the Quap. No deaths in the moment. Mid lane, Havos doing Havosty things here. It's going to be kept alive here by Seneko here with the mechanism there. Thinking about turning this one around. Dendi is about. KYXY has been ruptured. And doesn't seem confident in jumping in here. Lina has got Laguna. She hasn't got the mana to use it though. They're going to leave that one.
Yeah, I think if they realize how little mana Mushi had, they might have seen it.
I think they see it now. They see now the mana on Mushi. They're going to try and go for it. But the Yules from Mushi is going to be on time to TP away. Very nicely done there from Mushi. He'll be able to keep his life intact this time. Dendi still 20 seconds before he's got that Sonic Wave available again. Just, I mean, we're 21 minutes in. This man's got an Aghanims and a Yules. It is getting pretty damn disgusting.
He's a beast. What else can you say? Even, like, the start of the game, when he goes bottom, he gets those 3 kills. He's already put himself in a great position. The one thing about Queen in this game is you need to make sure that you're always the one forcing aggression. And with that Tusk and the Bloodseeker, like, Havos has been, I guess, less active on the map than Dendi, but what else do you expect, right? Like, it's Queen of Pain. You want to be at all these fights. Another smoke here from Fnatic.
Let's see what they can do. Again, Dendi with the ultimate available. He's get caught out this time by the Yules. Might be able to do this out with his own good way. He heals himself up straight away. Will allow the time to get the blink out. So the combo's going to be tripped. Hasn't done anything, but now Fnatic, they found Arstyle. They found a force as well. What's going to knock off the force? Gets relocated to the side there. Bites an angle. With the Sonic Wave there for Dendi. Dendi getting free script up. Getting low. Funnick will finish off Kesikimba. They found Mushi here as well. Dendi just blinking himself out into the trees. Out away from this fight. They did lose Artstyle. Now Funnick going for more potentially. Blinking forward. And Johnny, the boss drop down. Look right there. Dendi turning back up Johnny with the cold embrace. But he's almost certainly going to die anyway. Dendi and Seneko looking in for the kill. Will find it. Third hero that's dropped on the side of Fnatic. And Na'Vi just losing one. More stats here for the Dendi scoreboard. And the game I really look at the graph now. It's going to be a massive game. It's coming up to about 12,000. XP is a similar story. It's I don't know what Fnatic, they've got to
Dire's
look for
bottom tower
just
is
a
under
huge
attack.
one-way combo to turn this one around. We've seen them manage to get off the combo
Dire's structures
a couple
are
of times,
fortified.
but it just hasn't been enough at this point.
Well, I think the biggest thing is when they went in, they Yules Dendi right away, and they just go for the stun of later, right? But when you have Yules, if you just Yules yourself immediately after, it's like a 50-50 chance that the player either blinks away or just uses a stealth Yules after your initiation. So there, Mushi threw the stun thinking that Dendi might just try to go for a blink instead of Yulesing himself a second time. But now you can just assume that Dendi's going to do that every single time. Like, just use the Yules to avoid the setup from the Lina, in which case you can hold your stun and cancel cast it and make him think that you're going to do it. And that way the stun will actually land the second time. Because once that combo is used, Fnatic's teamfight potential goes down the drain. Like, your call down is out. Mushi's already used his stun. He wasn't able to land anything really big in that fight. And the Fiend's Grip also got interrupted, like, immediately by Fnatic. He sees it, he blinks in, he goes straight onto the Bane, and he lets Dendi get out. So it's been a lot of close calls so far for Dendi. He's actually had 2 moments where he's been nearly dead. Saved. And I think that even in this position, Fnatic, they're showing that their teamfight potential is still so good that they can contest Na'Vi.
Yeah, and he just continues to try and find this farm on KOX, right? I mean, he's still doing pretty good, 9.4k gold. Guys, he's picked up the recipe here for the Black King branch of the Ogre Club. Still just needs that Mithril Hammer, and he'll have that done on top of the SMY. Hervor's farm, though, has started to skyrocket. He's closing in on his BKB himself after the Midas SMY. It's the amount of space that Dendi's been able to create here for this Bloodseeker, meaning that Hervor's now is top of the last hit point. And this is a Bloodseeker that has 6 CS at 5 minutes in.
His recovery has been pretty miraculous. Just, it's a Bloodseeker though, because the hero doesn't ever have to go back to base. If you're using mana to rupture and blood right and go for a kill, then that's pretty much the point where you say, okay, now I gotta go get mana or whatever. But as long as you're not being directly pressured all the time, you can farm for days. You get that blood rage going for yourself. You can accelerate your own farm rate just by having it up all the time. And like you were mentioning too, Dendi has been pretty instrumental in allowing Na'Vi to bring themselves back into this game after the first 8 to 10 minutes where the laning phase was not really ideal. I think Fnatic maybe just lost sight a little bit of what their lineup was actually built for. And then after a couple of really bad engagements where they were kind of split up, now they've realized, hey look, we know our 5-man is really
Radiant's
sick,
bottom
so all
tower
we need
is
to
under
do
attack.
is not get split up
Radiant
anymore,
structures
and then we can
are
look to try to pressure
fortified.
that way.
We're talking about pressure, Fnatic trying to put it on here on this bottom tier 2. Na'Vi themselves,
Radiant's
they've got
bottom
Funny and Snake
tower
up
is
here
under
on the
attack.
top. Tier 2 on the top lane already sitting at half health here for the side of Fnatic. Similar story here for Na'Vi. But Fnatic with the pings out, they want to stick around here. KOXY going to go
Dire's
in
top
and he's going to
tower
look
is
to try and
under
finish off
attack.
this tier 2, and it doesn't look like Na'Vi are going to do anything in reaction to this.
Radiant's
Some of the
bottom
pings coming
tower
out,
is
just
under
spawning
attack.
out, see if any TP's coming in, but no TP's down for this one. They're going to let this go.
Radiant's
And with
bottom
that
tower has
KYXY,
fallen.
only a couple of hundred gold away from that
Dire's
Mithril
top
Hammer.
tower has
BKB
fallen.
complete, and Funnick does find the top town. Funnick, worth mentioning, of course, he did pick up that Desolator, helping him with the push, and is looking pretty damn stacked here on the Tusk.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with Funnick being in that lane where he was still able to get experience. I think teams are going to start to realize very quickly that this hero, although he does do very well with farm, there's no doubt about that, it's more about the early levels and being able to get to like level 6, level 7, get that max level of ice shards going so you can actually go for a kill combo. Because we were talking a lot about Dendi, but Funnick has also had a fantastic game. Like, he's 5-2 and 9. He's
Dire's
been very
middle
high kill
tower is
contribution
under
to his
attack.
team. He was also the one who ganked Mushi in mid, right when bottom lane they got those 3 kills that Dendi actually teleported for. So, we said in the very beginning, Na'Vi, they want to go ham. And that's pretty much what everyone has been doing outside of poor Havos. He didn't have a great lane, but now he's back on top of the net worth, man. He's good to go.
Yeah, he's right up there with Dendi, which is pretty impressive, keeping on the same level as a Quap that's got 15 kills and 8 assists.
Yeah.
It just goes to show the amount of farm that Vorst has managed to find. BKB now done for him. Notable, of course, the BKB, of course, now done for KYXY as well. So we'll see if that's going to allow the side of Fnatic to take a little bit of a better engagement next time they look for the old Wombo. But, Rich, I mean, you got Greaves finished on your Io.
This is pretty terrifying for Fnatic. Because of the fact that BKBs are going to start coming out on Na'Vi on top of the fact that that Wisp has Guardian Greaves, we talked a lot yesterday about how every single team has a specific damage composition. So you get your pure damage, your physical damage, and your magical damage. Right now, Fnatic are relying almost 100% on magical damage. Between their Darkseer, the Gyro combo, then you have Bane, you have Lina. And I'm pretty sure up until this point, yeah, Mushi does not have his Aghanim, so he does not have that pure damage blade, which means with BKB being available on the Bloodseeker, the only ways they can stop him are just that ultimate from ultimate from Winter Wyvern and Bane Grip. KYXY is going to get ruptured here, but looks like Na'Vi are more concerned.
Bottom tower is under attack.
This is going to be pretty key as well. If Dendi can hit level 16 before this fight, which he's only a few creeps away from, that's going to be devastating. That level 3 Sonic Wave with Aghanims. I mean, well,
not just that, but BKB at Dendi as well.
It's done. It's done indeed. I mean, I do not know how you're killing the Quap at this point. It's, I mean, Ags on Lina, it's a bit of a pipe dream at the moment for Mushi. He's got the point booster, 1k gold on top of it, but there's not going to be nearly enough pure burst damage or physical damage yet from the side of Fnatic to kill this Quap. I mean, I guess they've got the Winter's Curse, they've got the Punches of Jara, but still, you just look at the fact that you've got Snako. With Greaves, you've got Artstar. I literally don't think there's any way they're killing Dendi unless Na'Vi go for a massive misplay.
The Wisp, in my opinion, is really smart too, because you mentioned the Winter's Curse and stuff like that, but you can actually relocate people out of a Winter's Curse. That's the coolest part about it, right? Like sometimes you see like people used to pick Venge for swap, you get your Shadow Demon for disruption, but Wisp just brings you to safety no matter what. And you have that insane health offset of the Wisp potentially double healing you with a tether, and then of course popping the Greaves on himself and whatever target he's going to. So that hero, it's kind of a Wyvern card in a way. And if you can get that relocate in a team fight and then the curse is wasted, then all of a sudden Fnatic, they're down pretty much one of their biggest disables. And we saw on Fnatic, they don't have a very easy time functioning after that combo is thrown out. If they don't get kills with it, their team fight is pretty much already done. Like they just need to either run, or maybe they've done enough to where they can try to clean it up. But last time when they fought in the woods, that was not the case.
Dendi. Just being able to side of Mushi's high ground. Mushi's actually going to lose up Dendi here, but Dendi's across the BKB. He wants to fight. There's just some way catching out KYXY, bringing loads, being Blood Rage ruptured up as well. There's the vacuum wall though. They have lost their Swindler on the main, and the Hollow is just not doing enough. They're going to put the Windscale onto a Force. Force getting low, but not low enough. He's going to live through this one. They have managed to find the Gyro. Now they're going to clear up Johnny here as well. Again, Fnatic just throwing everything out, everything down, but finding absolutely nothing. They just can't dent Na'Vi's lineup at this point with the amount of lead that Na'Vi found 30 minutes in.
It's just because the item progression of Na'Vi is too fast. They went from a pretty solid laning phase to Dendi getting a really nice 3-man gank bottom, Mushi dying, and then they transitioned into kind of like this little sloppy skirmish fights where Na'Vi, they want to skirmish. Look at their heroes, Bloodseeker, Queen of Pain, like Tusk. These heroes excel in small-scale engagements. You never want to fight these heroes if you're Fnatic, if you don't have everyone together. And I think they just gave away too much with their team fights. They said, okay, we're going to go in like 1 or 2 at a time, try to fight Na'Vi, and then set up a combo. But by the time that happens, the heroes are already dead. And look at Na'Vi now. They're feeling very confident. They want to go for this. Fnatic are smoked, but they don't have Winter's Curse. They don't have Vault.
We're going to be very risky game things today. They do get off a very nice stun, and they burst down Artstar. This is big. Then getting low will be able to get himself out. That's slowly going to Mushi. But there's the Sonic Wave turning out KYXY, moving on to Dendi. Trying to do what he can here with the BKB. Buyback now coming out from Mushi. Her boss just turning KYXY. 1v1 we made Dendi on the back lines. Bring KYXY low. Will be able to bring him down. Dendi now bringing forward. Pretty much zero health. Comes the BKB. Has got the Aegis here, but that's the BKB used before the Aegis. Johnny on the high ground. Dendi, he knows it. I think he might just go for this one. Hasn't got the screen for a few seconds. Johnny with the golden embrace. Now he's trying to set this up with the yours. Dendi going to need some help from there to help. The gang's turned up. They're going to murder with the Wicked Punch onto Mushi, and that is a die back here from Lina. They're stuck on the high ground here with the wall and the Winter's Curse. They're going on to Dendi, but he will be able to blink away. Boss kind of stuck up here. He's like, guys, can you get me out of here? He is stuck in the trees. The higher will go with KYXY. They do kill her boss. Dendi able to get himself away though with Snako. And with the fight recap there, so it is what, 3 for 3 effectively, but that was with 2 buybacks and a dieback from Fnatic. And you got to remember, all in all, at the end of the day, Dendi still doesn't die. He loses the Aegis, but still his life intact. 16 kills, 12 assists, been involved in 28 of the 32 kills this game.
When he dies, he's going to give him like 2k gold.
It's got to be a hell of a lot of
his death is actually just going to be like 2,000 gold.
Oh, really came in? They found KYXY, so he's going to get the TP out. Will he be able to get it? Yes. Just gets himself out.
Yeah.
Nothing to stop it there for the Magic.
Yeah, very nice reaction.
Radiant's
Obviously, top
middle
of the
tower
BKB
is
trying to
under
get himself
attack.
out of there. I'm looking at Fnatic right now, and you saw that team fight, right? It was a 3-man or 4-man vacuum into a light strike array that I believe hit 1-3. Imagine if Johnny had curse for that. Like, they would have crushed that fight. It's just insane to think about that even with a 20-plus kill deficit, and the fact that right now Fnatic are behind in access of 20,000 golden experience. Fnatic in the meantime just punching Bane to death. That damage is real, but even with that kind of a deficit, they can still manage to take fights. Just imagine if Fnatic had been a little bit more disciplined about how they take their 5 versus 5 and maybe just grouping it a little bit sooner. As soon as they got that mech on the Darkseer, they wanted to start trying to make things happen, but their fights were just, they were a little bit too sloppy, and Na'Vi took full advantage of that.
And the money's starting to rack it up with some of Na'Vi's members as well. Funny. 2.6k gold on top of the Shadow Blade Dessa. Artstar picking himself up a gem, has that amulet towards the Glimmer Cane. Vorse now with a Hyperstone, possibly going to be looking for an AC. I mean, it would be very nice to help them out with this push. Very effective, of course, in these big 5-on-5s as well. And Dendi with 4,200 gold on him. And what do you expect we'll see from Dendi? I wouldn't be surprised with the amount of fights with me that we see him just go for the Octarine.
It could be Octarine. A lot of Queen of Pains have been favoring that item after you already have Aghanims. Makes it so your ulti is up like pretty much every single creep wave. And I think it puts your bulk at 4.5 seconds, which is extremely fast. You could go Hex as well. Okay, it's Shiva's.
Okay.
Yeah, Shiva's is still really nice too. Because with the Shivas, you're not really worried about the gyrocopter right-click anymore, which can be a bit of a problem. And if you get cursed, which is a high possibility, because Dendi is a high priority target now because it's freaking 16 at home. If you do get cursed, there's less likelihood that you're going to die because you have that extra armor. So his physical damage mitigation is going to be quite a bit higher than it was. That's also solo crest too.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Fnatic going to try. They have got all the ults available, but indeed, Funny just going straight in onto KOX. Went with Cold Crazy and Jaro some time. Already now high. Really want to live for the fight. Dendi's popped the BKB, looking for a stunning roll straight onto KOX. He's popped the BKB, but he's incredibly low. Back himself up. That Funny here. Funny kind of caught on the wrong side of the fight. Funny with the Warriors play, bringing KOX low. Laguna Blade does finish off Funny. One race there from Johnny, topping up KYXY, and looks like, yeah, no, I'm going to be too happy with that. Losing a hero this time, not being able to find anything in return.
A little bit too ham, you know, just a little bit. Sometimes you just want to go for a kill and you say, you know what, I'm going to go on this. Didn't end up working out there for Fnatic, but I think Na'Vi are going to be fine with that. You can't give away too many of those kills to Fnatic, because the Gyrocopter late game is still very scary to think about, and Curse, it only gets better as the game goes on. As the heroes on the enemy team scale, Winter's Curse becomes that much more scary as an ability. And then Bushi, I mean, I gotta think at some point the guy's gonna finish his Aghanims, right? Like, he's within 900 gold, a little bit under that now.
He's gonna have it soon, but it certainly is not the time he set out for.
Yeah, Lena's burst is still gonna be something that you're gonna have to respect, because only 2,000 health, it sounds like a decent chunk, but against Fnatic, if you get caught with your BKB, you can still die very easily.
He certainly can. Bloodseeker, of course, now just about 100 away from finishing that recipe and getting himself the Assault Cuirass here as well. Dendi, as yeah, he's going to be able to have the potential to finish off the Achievers. Just needs to get that Mystic Staff on its way. KYX, what's he got coming out? So just sending the curry out for the Secret Shop. 1900 gold on him at the moment. What's he going to opt for as his next up? Okay, so he's actually going to pick himself up a bit of invasion here.
Yeah, it's a bit butterfly. The butterfly is nice. When BKB popped, if he doesn't just die to the Queen Burst, having that extra evasion means that they, like, all linning on him becomes a bit more dangerous. Evasion is fantastic, especially when no one on Na'Vi is going to be buying MVP. If anyone, it's probably going to be Havos. And it might be his next item after he sees that KYXY has picked up that Talisman of Evasion in the first place. I believe Fnatic are trying to do something here. They're all grouped up on high ground. Not sure if they're waiting for Na'Vi to pressure or... There's only one hero showing right now, so they could be anticipating some kind of gank and just sitting on the high ground to make sure that if Na'Vi are going into their woods, that they would be at the positional advantage. But now I think they're just going to go ahead and back off.
Yeah, we did just see some pings coming out from Na'Vi around here, so maybe question whether there was going to be a movement on Fnatic past their Secret Shop. It's not going to be the case though, and Fnatic nonetheless won't be able to catch Na'Vi off the back of anything. Dendi's going outside, just hanging around towards the bottom. Vorse and Funny are now heading towards the mid. They need to be a little bit careful here. Now they've spotted out KYXY. And I think, yeah, they're going to keep themselves safe here. It's going to be very hard for Fnatic to catch anyone out on Na'Vi.
Another thing, too, that's frustrating for Fnatic now is the Wisp factor that we haven't really said a whole lot about. I mean, sure, he's been ganking and stuff, but just the fact that you can play off-map like this, Fnatic have to play such inefficient Dota. They're all stacking together all the time, which means that they're not like split farming lanes. They're not doing what Na'Vi are doing, which is, oh, well, we can just split up and do what we want to do. And the other issue is Fnatic normally in this situation, they would want to smoke to try to find somebody because they probably assume that Dendi is still free farming and Seneco's most likely just following him around. But they don't have any vision on Navi's side of the map. So smoke is always an inherent risk when you don't have that vision laid out for you to be able to say, okay, well, at the very least we know they're not going to be here. Their only ward is on their side of the map. It's on the high ground on the way to the Roshan pit from a tier 2. And Na'Vi now feeling like this is their time.
I mean, Namushi does have that Aghanim Scepter complete,
middle tower has
so we'll see
fallen.
that big amount of burst pure coming in the next fight. But is it just a little too late? We'll see. Na'Vi able to pressure. There's 2.2k gold now on your quad on top of the Shivas. Dendi continue to look incredibly scary for the side of Fnatic. But Fnatic, as you said, really good high ground defense. It's going to be interesting to see how Na'Vi go about breaking the base.
They probably just go for Roche. They have a... No, wait, that's Fnatic's courier, right? Yeah. Fnatic's courier is playing Roshan. They just want to know when it's up because there's a high likelihood Na'Vi just immediately bolt.
He goes out, he's going to pot the BKB, he's kind of viewed the side of Na'Vi. Now he's ruptured up, Dendi's still got a Sonic Kick pure damage to burst through this if he wanted to, but Ahaya's there was meant to back him up. There's the back of an Fnatic, Dendi trying to get himself in position. There we go, counter inside, Johnny caught out, Beam Script now for Kessig, holding Dendi in place, and they have got Sonic on the side of Na'Vi, so 1-for-1 at the moment. Dendi being kept safe, and top top with the last side of the Shallow Grave, Dendi blinking forward, takes out Bane, and that's going to be the gem recovered as well here for the side of Na'Vi. 3 heroes in the deck of the side of Fnatic. Ahaya moves, he just left in the pace here. It's going to be a buyback from Johnny. I feel like they've got to do something on the defensive here.
What can he do, though? There's no buyback on Gyro. I mean, the Bane will buyback. There's no game script. There's no burst. I think Na'Vi just racks them here.
Well, with this EC on the wall, they're doing incredible. There's the advantage. There is not a wall available. Guns Blast doing quite a bit of Wall's getting low, but Seneca, the amount of sustain that Na'Vi have at this point, incredibly difficult to fight into. Na'Vi just put back onto the melee rack. They should be able to claim this one. Still 30 seconds before the gyro back. Dendi going forward. Will get used up here by Mushi. Looks for the stun, but again, Dendi there with a counter heal. Using himself, dodging out the stun. They will clear out the top set of racks and get themselves out as well. Oh! A Vost!
Goodbye, Vost.
We're going to play to the backside. Mushi not happy with that. The fact that they took the racks and punishes Blood Seeker. So they can get at least that off the back of it. But that's the set of racks down. More kills for Dendi at 4,600 gold. Let's have a look at his net worth now. 21,000 here. He is a good... Well, the highest net worth on the side of Fnatic is Darkseer. It is quite a difference here between the two sides. We're at a 30... I don't think I've seen many games where it's been a 30,000 lead. And the team that's behind are still kind of in it.
Yeah. But that's why I was so concerned for Navi at the start of the game, because I'm looking at Fnatic's lineup and I'm thinking to myself, how do you actually fight that? Imagine if it was only like a 10k lead, or a 15k lead, and maybe Mushi had like one more item, or KYXY had a butterfly, and even just some lifesteal. The difference in the team fights would be massive. I mean, they're going to Roshan. This is kind of a last-ditch effort. They realize that Havolst hasn't gone back. They know that they have an opening here, and they need to try to do something about it. And their option is here to maybe force Na'Vi into an engagement that
he wants to go for it. There's your own message now. Alright, we'll be able to get it to make out the wall. He wants to funny enough the Buddha Blade onto Dendi. Dendi's going to be fine, able to blink himself away. Funnick just scouting out and chasing away KYXY. It was actually the relocate strike from Seneco, bringing Dendi out of the fight. Almost only going to bring him back in. Funnick taking down Johnny Hill on the high ground, and there's Dendi. Brought back in here by Seneco after Seneco did save him from any further disaster. But 2 heroes down. Fnatic, they were looking for the play in terms of getting Roshan. It's not going to happen. And Na'Vi now go into the pit to finish off Roshan themselves. Playing themselves for ages. And this might just be the ticket to closing down the game here if Na'Vi want to go for it down the mid lane.
That's most likely the last nail in the coffin, as they say. There's kind of this weird feeling of Fnatic I liked their draft a lot more this game in terms of what they were able to do in the 5-man. But Navi just outplayed them so badly. Every single point in this game, it was always them on the aggression, just making sure that they could find
running
goals like
straight
this.
in with 1-2. That's kissing down on the bank. How except pop the BKB, but he's going to sit there. Ruptures on his red. He's going to try and find a nice vacuum somewhere in there. But Dendi blows up his car. Got like double kill for Dendi. There's a team. Well, it's over. This game is well and truly over. And Dendi, you said it being the Dendi show. This is a classic Dendi show. 20 kills, 15 assists, doesn't die at all. I mean, the rest of the team are Na'Vi. Big shout out to them. They all played it pretty impeccably as well. You look at Seneko. We'll see in a minute on the scoreboard. The amount of assists this guy had in the eye, very impressive play.
He only died once.
But it's, yeah, it's, I mean, just Na'Vi